want to keep some pale skin as well, so I want to be careful not to completely saturate it with the red. I'm going to just work here around the starts of the horns. What we're doing now is not rocket science, is we're starting to pull colour to everywhere that we feel needs colour or lacks definition, so the toes and any recesses or everything else. Okay, so I'm now going to get a... Christ, where's it gone? I'm going to get a strong brown, which is an Army Painter Oak Brown, and I'm going to just make that into another glaze, but a heavy pigment glaze, and I'm going to again bladder the tool. Okay, and then I'm going to wipe the tool with my finger just randomly. There is literally no science to this. Okay, I'm just going to put that down. Now while I've got that heavy pigment brown out, I'll start to just build up the pouches, because obviously time is of the essence. And hopefully I'm pulling it in close to myself so I can see better, and zoom, and so I can just get you to watch me like that. So you can see again that the colours it's touching aren't dry. So the skill is to know where the paint and the pigment are going to go and how. Obviously having useful brush control also helps. Okay. Taking that neat brown now. Oh, sorry, I've zoomed in too much now. Taking that neat brown now, and I'm going to stipple. Which is now full pigment. And I'm going to dab. Okay, so what I need to do now is to build up the horns. Otherwise they won't be dry in time to progress. So I'm using Army Painter Soft Tone, and I am just drawing up to start off with. We're then going to move the pigment a different way. But all I want to start off with is a basic coverage on the horns. Okay, now we've got Army Painter Soft Tone on the brush still, so I'm just going to use that in the odd place. Okay. Now I think this dude would benefit from a slightly different type of green on him, so I'm just reaching up to my colour racks in the studio and I'm taking down one of the neons, which is the neon green from Model Colour, and just for shits and giggles, I'm going to just randomly place some of this on his diseased areas. Oh, that's rather nice. Okay, so at this point we want to be turning our attention back to focus more on details. So what I'm going to do is just to start to pick in some of these much bigger saws with a pooled heavy set red. Okay, so I just want the canker saws in particular, and the few odd kind of weeping cracks for now around him. So these big canker saws at the back here, and then into the old worm infested spine. That looks sore, doesn't it? Ouch. Let's get around some red rot around there. Okay, so using that brown that we had before, I'm going to just thin it out a little bit more, just a tiny bit more, because I still want it to be quite heavy. And now I'm going to hit the horns from the bottom, pulling up, and then the opposite. So I'm now going to go from the top and I'm going to pull down, and that will create striations in the horns over the course of a few coats, which is what we want. Now, gonna switch to Army Painter Strong Tone, which is or Dark Tone, sorry, which is the equivalent of Null Oil, basically. And now the tool itself is starting to dry. I'm gonna just black the tool with the Strong Tone again. You can see in certain areas it's not dry at all, and I don't mind that, to be honest. Okay, now with my thumb and my forefinger, I'm going to pull the colour off. Okay, so the eye sockets, we want to start to work in the detail for this little dude. I really want them to look kind of raw. And then I'm gonna really hit in his mouth. And then pull off with my finger any overspills. Let's get a bit more angry red in some of these saws just to build up that colour. Okay. This poor guy's a mess, isn't he? Bless him. He does not look healthy, but he does look nasty, which I guess is all well and good. Just gonna got a little. Well, this is what you get here with overwash. You get the problem where it basically pulls and you'll get it go white because it's bled out of that area. there's a couple of ways that you can deal with that if you're in a hurry. The fastest thing to do is to use a pigment that does not fuck around. So this is Black Inktense from scale 75, and that bad boy does not mess around. So let's just move a bit of that around as well, all over it. Okay, speaking of black from scale 75 Inktense, now I've got it out, might as well just use that. I'm sure we can find something, belt buckles and straps or whatever else to use it for. How are we doing for time? 11 minutes we've been recording for. Okay. Just going back to our green again. What I'm going to do is just splodge a bit again into the recesses. Okay, so that the glaze is currently sinking into the deepest spot, just like a wash would do actually. So it's kind of highlighting it for me in one go, which is nice. I'm going to use soft tone again, which is a non-committal neutral colour really, and that's going to now transform all of this from green into khaki. So here we go. As we're applying the wash, just keep an eye on it because it's going to pull, and we're going to have to go back to that and sort that out in a minute. But we are speed painting, so just think if you can do this quick when you're speed painting, imagine what you can do when you take an hour. Now these are, for me, these are just gaming figures. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is take the brown on the wash, and I'm just going to run it into the contours under the chest, under the arms, under the armpits and the biceps, and then I'm going to run it around the side of the bridge of the foot, under the ankle, in the Achilles tendon area, around the back of the ankle, the back of the hand, back of the shoulder here, around the back of the shoulders and the splits, and I just recharge the brush, and I am gonna just hit the back here where the belt will join. Follow the belt line, make sure we got that delineation we wanted. Let's blend that in a bit more. Okay, let's start to flick the next layer of these horns on. Now I'm going to take a skeleton bone, I guess would be the best description, because we don't want to use white, because eyeballs are never white, but especially not on disgusting little scumbags like this. Doing this with the Winsor & Newton Series 7 number 2. It's not the easiest thing in the world, but just bloody out that one so it's weeping. Let's add some black into that socket. Gum line and teeth. More black into that rotten area. Down there. Okay. Now we're going to do your lights. How long have I got? Oh, 15:46. I'm going to have to stop the video here.